Hello everyone, I am Dinesh. And can you guess who's today's guest for us? Well, he is someone who's helping shape the future of blending deep learning, storytelling, and science. Dr. Art Murray. It's an honor, Doctor. Thank you very much for being with us. Before I say something, Doctor, why don't you give your small introduction and then we will proceed with the questions. Doctor, platform is yours. Please.
No, the honor and pleasure is mine, Desai, sir. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to participate in this podcast of yours that has been going around the world, I see. And so I'm really honored to be able to participate in this. And I'm looking forward to your insightful questions. You know that all of my work is about drawing knowledge, capturing knowledge, transferring knowledge, all centered around knowledge and growing our knowledge, all for the benefit of humanity. You know, my entire mission is to serve humanity by democratizing knowledge, because right now knowledge is too much under the control of people who want to control what we hear, control what we have access to, and knowledge should be open and free. So my whole mission is about democratizing knowledge and using platforms so that we can know ourselves and our world at deeper levels. And you mentioned deep knowledge and deep learning. We will get into that. But knowing ourselves and our world at progressively deeper levels so that we can make better choices and become more greatly enriched in all aspects of life. That is my whole passion and everything that I work for and everything that I do.
Great, great. Yes, knowing yourself. Very correct. Doctor, we say that always the Atithi Devo Bhava, the guest or our God. So we have got a first guest who has sent a question and a small message to me. I would like to read that message. She is Joan Graves, your sister. She has written, Hi Dinesh, I recently discovered Art's work, so please bear with me if my question isn't quite on point. Here it is. What is the biggest obstacle that preventing over billion people worldwide for accessing the knowledge due to lack of internet? That is number one. And second, do you think that this information can still spread? If yes, how? Doctor, would you like to answer this question, please? Doctor.
Yes. All right. The first part of the question is, what is the biggest obstacle preventing people? Now, what was the second question, please?
And the second is how they will progress without internet.
How they can progress without what?
Internet.
Oh, okay, wonderful. That is a great start. Wonderful. So, simple answer to the first part of the question is learn. Well, people are saying learning how to learn because
Mhm.
our education system has degraded to the point where it's all input, input, input. Memorize this, take this test. You know how well you memorize, you pass the test. And it's even gotten worse now with AI. And you know, now they're even talking about something called AI psychosis,
Mhm.
where people are so dependent now, asking AI to do everything, asking ChatGPT to write for them, asking ChatGPT, let's see, well, how should I handle this health problem? Who should I vote for? What should I invest in? What do I do here? What do I do there? Constantly. And so you see, that's going in the wrong direction. So to answer my loving sister's question, it's a very good question. We have to learn how to learn. And I think the first step in that direction is
Lovely.
learning how to ask quality questions,
Mhm.
because we have been now so conditioned to ask simple questions like, what do I do here? What do I do there? Those are not quality questions. And if you ask poor quality questions, you're going to ask poor quality answers. So let me give you an example of a quality
Mm.
question. And it ties into the second part of Joanne's question, which is without using the internet. That's brilliant. Maybe you're understanding me better than I realized, Joanne. Um, Without using the internet, just do what Einstein did. Einstein set us a great example when he discovered his general theory of relativity. Do you know how he did that? They asked him,
Mm-hmm.
what is your best teacher? His answer was his best teacher was a pencil and paper. He would
Ooh.
sit there, analog, right? And a blank sheet of paper, like this, blank, and a pencil. And he would sit down and think. That's number one. Just think. Open whatever comes into your mind. And what popped into his mind one night was, ah, I wonder what it would be like to ride on a beam of light. Now,
Mm-hmm.
here's a quality question.
Oh.
And so he wrote that question down and then started thinking about, okay, what is it like? And that's where relativity and everything else came in. So let's just practice that. Let's learn to practice that to get started. Ask, some simple question. How can I live better? And then here's what to do.
Hmm.
Think about that and write your thoughts down as they come. So those are
Mm-hmm.
your observations about the world and the world you live in and how they apply to you. Then when you write some of those things down, look at them, and now write something totally different than what you just wrote. Okay, and write that down.
Oh.
Now you look at what you wrote and say, let me think of something totally different from that. Now you see what you're doing, you're expanding your
Mm-hmm.
mind, expanding your thought process. When you're doing this, and I think you mentioned in the materials or your description of our session tonight, we talk about deep learning. So here's where deep learning ties in. You're actually activating engrams, which are the deepest, most simplest part of human memory, and activating them. And you're slowly going to the source. And in our work, I came around to your heritage, Dinesh, sir, which is ancient Bharat, which in my studies of knowledge and knowledge engineering, I was quickly drawn to the
Mm.
Veda, which means knowledge. So I said, oh, what are these guys in ancient Bharat? How did they know that the earth processes on its axis thousands of years before Galileo or Copernicus or any of these guys? And then they had analog instruments. As you know, the yantras, right? That you can go to these
Right.
sites in
Yes.
Bharat and see how did they do that 5,000 years ago? No tech, no
Yeah.
digital, no computers. So getting back to Joanne's point, no, this is all available in analog form using the human physiology. And it has
Mm-hmm.
three parts. I'm observing something, right? And then I am knowing myself as the observer, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that is the rishi part, what the ancient Bharatis call rishi. And then what's the interaction between myself and what I'm observing?
Mm-hmm.
What is the
Right.
interaction between myself and Einstein? What is the interaction between Einstein and the pad of paper and pencil? He said that was his
Ooh.
best teacher. He's interacting between them. And in the ancient structure of Veda, there are those three components: a knower, something that is
Mm.
known, and the interaction between them. And the term in Sanskrit, for any of you interested in Sanskrit, is Rishi, Devata, and
Yeah.
Chandaha. Okay. So that
Uh-huh.
aside, it's just best to say now, Western science is
Hmm.
very much objective. When I got my doctoral dissertation and got my doctorate degree, you could not incorporate any subjectivity or you would get thrown out of the room. Everything had to be objective, 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 nothing else.
Right.
Now, that is only one third of the full capacity of knowledge because it should involve all three. It should involve subjective knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
objective knowledge, and the interplay between those two. Three
Ooh.
pieces. Western science focuses solely on the objective and God help you if you go beyond that, if you try and any subjectivity at all. However, very much in the Eastern world, it's
Hmm.
very, very subjective. They consider objectivity in many places to be mud, right? So they frown on that, and that's incomplete. So I think our promise for the future, and I'll kind of, and I hope that that answers Joanne's question, and I'll turn it back over to you because I'm probably talking quite a bit. Um, but that's where one of the places we need to go as ourselves in expanding our knowledge and our understanding, and going back to that original mission statement of knowing ourselves and our world at progressively deeper levels so we can make better choices and become more greatly enriched. And it means knowing ourselves, subjective, knowing our world, objective, and knowing how the two interact. There you have it.
Right. Right.
So I hope that sets the table,
Wow.
sir.
Oh yes, 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 yes. At least I have grasped so many things from my side, because from coming from India to Australia, I was thinking that I must adopt the Western knowledge, but I think that my Eastern knowledge is far far better.
Well, again, it's Western knowledge plus Eastern knowledge, and then the interaction between the two. And
Very correct.
there have been many attempts at trying to make that happen. And we should keep pushing that and pushing that, and that will, I think, open the floodgates. Once we do that, things will open beyond our wildest expectations.
Fine, Doctor. I have got heaps of questions to be asked. So once again, I request you, because if possible, we will have a different session where we can have a beautiful discussion. But here, to give glimpses of your work, please reply in the shortest possible way, if possible within a minute or two.
Okay, yes, I know you're pressed for time. I will try my best.
So here is my next question, and that goes like this. Doctor, what was the first that inspired you to explore the world of artificial intelligence and your deep learning? Would you like to tell it about it, sir?
Oh, okay. I was a graduate student at George Washington University, and I
Hmm.
was doing my master's degree, completing my master's degree in environmental and energy management. I think that's one of your fields also, environmental and environmental management. Yes, that's
Hmm.
Dinesh, sir. And so I asked my advisor, I said, I want to go on for my doctorate. And he said, sure. He said, what do you want to do your doctoral research in? And I said, environmental and energy management, because this was the early
Hmm.
1980s and those were big things.
Oh God.
He said, no, you don't. And he was my advisor, but I didn't realize his models were showing that at that time, the energy management and environmental interests would be dropping, and so it would no
No.
longer be a hot. It would resume later, but at that time it wasn't. And he said the thing you want to study is artificial intelligence. This is
Hmm.
1982. 1982. He said this is going to be the greatest, the biggest thing. Now he was a little bit ahead of his time, and we were too. But that's what got me into artificial intelligence. And when I
Oh.
dove into that part, I saw it
Hmm.
was all computer, 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 digital, 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 which is processing symbols and computation, computation. And I said, something's missing. So that comes back to, as I was doing artificial intelligence, I said, this is not the whole picture. What's missing? And that's where I went and discovered the Vedas and everything I talked about before. So that's how I got into this field,
Great.
combining artificial intelligence with deep learning.
Wow. Well, doctor, I'm also on the similar path. After doing my engineering, I did my master's in environmental management, but I ended up with something else.
Right, right. We have to pivot. That's a good thing always. And that's part, by the way, while we're talking about knowledge discovery and learning, that's have to be you. You can't get locked into one thing. You should be able to be flexible and pivot, because as you make new discoveries, you can go in new directions, and that's part of the fun of it.
Great. Well, here is my next question, doctor. That just now you talk about the hidden knowledge. So, what does it mean for the layman, and why it is so important? Something about hidden knowledge.
Yeah, part of the habit we have fallen into in the Western world is we're
Hmm.
looking at everything we're doing analytics, data, and it's all
Hmm.
surface. It's all things that are happening on the surface, and we're millions and millions of combinations and permutations, right? Collecting data and having the computer crunch, and then using what we
Right.
call induction to try and make sense out of all of that. So
Oh.
that is what drove me to it. This is not where the knowledge. It's not on the surface. The surface is a reflection of something deeper, and so that's
Hmm.
why the hidden, what I refer to hidden knowledge, I mean,
Hmm.
let's find discover what are the underlying laws and principles deep beneath the surface that are causing all of the phenomena or
Right.
epiphenomena, to use the right term, happening on the surface. What's going on deep inside, underneath, in the deep layers underneath that are invisible to us, but we can reveal them if we dig deeper and reflect and do all this deep learning. We can uncover those and make those discoveries, and now we can go back up to the surface. And instead of everything being in chaos, trying to figure out what's going on in the chaos, we're coming in from a place of stability, peace, even right deep down at the surface level, or at the deepest level. We can, in a calm and refined manner, better try to understand what we're witnessing on the surface. Does that make sense?
Yes. 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 It. It is. It is.
Okay.
Just I was thinking, doctor, that has it got some connection with meditation then?
Absolutely. Yeah. The meditation
Mhm.
or whatever you practice allows you to settle down. And there's the Bible has that repeated phrase, be still, right? Be
Mhm.
still and know that I am God. Or you cannot possibly do this kind of deep thought, even the kind of thought Einstein was doing when he's discovering relativity. If you're out dancing around in all the noise, you've got to settle down deep. So, yes, meditation settles you down. And now, from that settled state, you begin to reveal the finer aspects of what's going on in the world.
Oh, great. Nice. So, doctor, how do you help people and machine work together to solve the big problem that you are doing?
Right. So good point. I'm not saying we throw away the machines at all, right? And by machines, that's a broad term. I think when we say machines, we were talking about computers, digital zeros and ones. So here's the simple answer to your question, because you want short answers, is let machines, primarily computers, do what they do well, and make sure we understand what humans do well, because they're different.
Oh,
Digital computers are fantastic number crunchers. Let them crunch and analyze the data, because that gives
hmm,
us some validation and a lot of good aspects to that. But then
right,
but don't try and let those digital machines, those computational devices, do what we should be doing as humans, because we are natural systems. We are not computational systems. We are analog. And get into the quantum aspects, we are stratified in our thinking. Things can pop into our head just like that. No
right.
computation involved, right? Insight, flashes of insight. So those are things that exist in nature. And we've got to
Oh,
make sure we do not lose that connection to nature that
wow.
only we as humans have, right? And let the machines calculate, crunch numbers, do all that stuff. Let humans don't lose our connection to nature. Let us do what humans do well, including insights and intuition and all those good qualities. I'm afraid we're losing a lot of that or diminishing a lot of that, and we definitely need to begin to recover and even grow that aspect of our humanity.
Oh. Perhaps, doctor, for last 10 years, I am bit connected with the Aboriginal, the main original people of Australia. And they are the people who even today, now they have connection with the nature, grounding, sky. and more I know about it, more and more I create respect for them. And yes, they had wonderful science without any internet, without any phone, without any TV. They were connecting with each other. Yes. Well, here is my next question, doctor, for you. And that is, can you share a story, doctor, about how the native culture and the science that came together in your work, especially with the tribal college? How you are connected with the tribal college? I'm also connected with one of them. How you are connected and how you came out
Sure.
with.
Yeah, sure. And there are many, many stories. So let me just try and pick one. One that comes to mind is actually doing is actually some work, and it's well documented, so you can review this and read about it. The tribes, the Inuit tribes in Alaska, very cold, hostile environment. They live on by hunting whales, but specifically bowhead whales, and we've written about this in our articles. By the way, if you go to kmworld.com, there's a
Hmm.
series of articles called "Future of the Future." I've got about 110, maybe more articles now on that, and this story is told in one of them. But I'll give you the quick synopsis of it. Um, they these tribes in native Alaska, very cold. See, and as you know, their winters are very harsh, so they hunt the bowhead whale, very large mammal,
Right.
and they use everything, the oil from it, for to heat light their lamps, and they use the flesh, the blubber. So it's their sustenance for to help them get through the winter. The U.S. government, of course, tried to stop them, saying you're killing off the whale population. There are only 500 whales left in the whole world, bowhead whales. And they said, no, that's not true. There are tens of thousands of them out there. And the government says, well, we took samples, we have probing devices or whatever, they attach these sensors, and they said, no, 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 there's only 500. They said no, and they hunt the whales. They go out in complete fog, no compass, no nothing. They know just naturally where those whales are, and sometimes the whales will even come to them, offering them. They kill. Again, this is
Oh,
documented. You can read about this, and so they were at odds with the government, and finally the government came back and said, you're right. We've revised, we've gotten done deeper studies, and took more readings and collected more data, and you're right, there's over 10,000 bowhead whales out there. They knew it without doing all the data and the collection and the sensors. They knew it intuitively
oh,
because they were part of nature. They were part of that ecosystem, and those whales were. So that may not answer your question. If anything, it points out again how Western science is often at odds with natural science, and I think we need to bring those together. And at least in that instance, the U.S. government relented and said, "Yeah, you guys are right," and then said a lot of this got published, and again, raised our awareness that there's a lot more in our capacity to learn about our environment and ecosystem than you can get just from digital sensors and data collection.
oh, oh. This reminded me the president of National Geography, Adam Limsing. So he has mentioned about this type of story related to the picture, to the movie Avatar, where he has clearly said that olden days people used to pass their signals, their mental signals, and used to connect with each other.
Oh, we can go on to that. You realize that the human physiology, they
Hmm,
they say we have five senses, and they'll say maybe there's a sixth sense.
hmm.
You understand that there are just based on the cranial nerves. There are 12 pairs of cranial nerves, and each of
Oh,
those go to activate a different sense. So we have 12
oh,
senses just based on the cranial nerves, and we have an additional 36, 36, 34, 36 pairs of nerves all the way down through our physiology. So we've got
oh
easy
God.
4 dozen different senses that we can draw upon. So that's what you said, and those senses are affecting and effecting. They can transmit and receive. And so, yes, and there are instances where, it's been understood where they call it remote viewing. A lot of experiments going on, a lot more that you can read about, where yes, people are communicating just like that, not using and enlivening our innate capacity and our human physiology that has been again um, um, inhibited just by drilling into people's head. You only have 5 senses when we really have, if you count the whole physiology, dozens of senses.
Oh, oh. Well, doctor, I have got heaps of questions, but let me stop here. Here are few of my questions, which
Sure.
I
Go ahead.
request you to. Here, these are the questions I request you to answer either in a one word or so. And it is we have named it as a rapid fire question. So here
Oh,
is
okay.
the first rapid fire.
Rapid session. Okay, rapid fire session. Go ahead.
Rapid
Fire away.
session.
Fire away.
So here is a rapid session, and the first rapid session is, doctor, for you. Please give one word that describe your journey so far. What can be?
Never ending. Easy. That's an easy one.
Ah,
Easy. Never
yes.
ending.
I must remember this. This is a big lesson for me. Never ending, never ending, never ending. Right, right, right. Very nice, very nice. Well, doctor. Second question. If you could meet any scientist from the history, then who would it be?
Any one scientist, I would not even attempt to pick one or name one. I just getting back to make sure it's perfectly clear where I'm coming from. The one thing I want to go to is to the source. The source. So everything is there. Tap into that infinite source. Not one scientist. So I'd like to meet Einstein or Tesla. That's all fun. But if you hold me to one, the source of all knowledge, that's where I want to tap into. That's where I'd like to go and continue to interact with
Beautiful.
for a lifetime.
Great. And the next question is, doctor, what's one thing that AI still can't do well?
Another easy. That's easy. Feel. AI cannot feel, right? And that's so important. What happened? There's no empathy. Now you can program and say, hey, make sure you behave ethically, da 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 da. But still, no feel. How can silicon zeros and ones banging around? Uh, no feeling at all. We humans can feel. AI will never be able to feel. So don't ever forget that. Use computers for computation, humans, intuition, feeling, judgment. But yeah, that's the one thing human AI cannot do well is feel, and they'll never do that. Never.
So, what is your reply to those people who keep their heart apart and think of by mind only? That they suppress their feelings, or they keep themselves away from their feelings.
And we're back to that subjective objective. The heart is yourself, your inner self, the subjective aspect. The mind focuses on the objective, and that's okay. You need the two of them to get and again the interaction. Rishi Devata Chandas, knower, knowing, and process of knowing.
Great. Oh. And my next question is, doctor, for you, what do you think that can you recall the favorite place where you have traveled for your work, specially?
Oh,
India?
again, you're asking questions to give me one for me to name one thing. No, I'll tell you my favorite place where I've traveled for work. The world at large. Yes,
Uh-huh.
the world at large. Right? Why was there's one city here, one city there, each have their own unique areas. Asking me which snowflake did I like? I looked at snowflakes as a kid. Which one did I like the best? No. Every place has its own aspects and beauty. A good, bad, and ugly. So no, the world at large, that's my favorite place I've
Wow.
ever
And
worked and
before I ask you,
continue.
doctor, next question, please tell something about your connection with India.
Oh, what your question is what is my connection with India?
Your connection with India.
Oh, I was led to that. Well, actually, it's part of a spiritual journey because it's a spiritual journey.
Hmm.
I grew up in totally immersed in Catholic education, so the Catholic religion. And
Right?
I'm still deeply rooted in Catholicism. But as you know, it's all about belief. You'll believe read these scriptures, and I think you may go through the same thing in Bhagavad Gita or the Quran. So you're reading all this stuff and taking this in, but you're saying, I'm missing the subjective element. I have not felt. I believe this stuff. It's okay. This is all good. I understand. You should not do this. Do not. Yeah, that makes
Hmm.
sense. I
Yes.
should love my neighbor. But how do you feel? It's only when I took up meditation and got in touch with my inner self, which I got through the Indian practices. That's where meditation came from, at least the meditation I
Ooh.
practice. So that's what led me there. It was part of my spiritual journey, and then as I mentioned, when I got into my graduate work, it
Hmm.
became part of my professional journey. And it all don't you
Wow.
love it when things all come together like that? And that's probably part of enriching. We should all have some spiritual enrichment of some sort to go along with our professional lives. That's been my experience, and I've considered it a blessing.
Oh, great. Great. And there are people from various countries. They think something different. Anyway, it's none of our business. But here is my next question, Doctor. What's your go to way to relax after a long work? What do you do?
Oh, after a long day, yeah. See, people that again is a paradigm. I work hard all day, now I need to relax. Well, if you've worked so hard that you need to relax, you're doing something wrong. I go in and out, in and out, in and out throughout the course of the day. I will immerse myself and then back off and even close my eyes and reflect, just
Hmm.
like Einstein did. And then I'll go back into work and then relax. Go back into work, close my eyes, maybe even meditate. So that process is going all. I don't wait until I'm at the end of the day and burned out and then to relax. All right. So my point is no, and it should, and that works for me. I don't know if it will work for everybody, but at least for me, what works best is going through that work relax cycle period repeatedly throughout the day.
Because I remember when my master said that while doing your work, try to meditate in between. I was laughing because for
Exactly.
me,
Yes.
right,
Yes. Why? Very wise. Wise advice.
how it is possible? Uh,
And I
because
kind of
for me,
discovered that by accident, but still, it's
huh,
good.
hmm, good, good, good. So I should increase my meditation time and the number of time that I am meditating. Yes, that's more important. Well,
Yeah,
doctor,
balance.
if you
Go ahead.
yes, doctor, if you weren't in the knowledge science, then what would you be doing?
Oh, if I wasn't in knowledge sciences, what I'd be doing, I can't imagine doing anything other than that because everything I do is tied to knowledge. It's just my nature. It's in my DNA. I don't know if you remember there was a movie called Short Circuit, came out probably in
Hmm.
the 80s, where there was this robot. I think it got struck by lightning and it became sentient, and then all it wanted to do was get input, and you saw they had input. I need input. That's what this robot kept saying. So that's me. I just have this unrelenting quest and thirst for knowledge. So whether it's science or not, doesn't really matter. If I yeah, that's the best quick answer I can give you. I can't be doing anything else. That's my DNA.
Oh,
The infinite and endless quest for knowledge.
oh, this is one of my favorite question, doctor. What's one idea you believe that the world needs to hear more often? I think it's about your feeling, heart.
Oh, yeah. What I think we're again the world right now, as we
Mm-hmm.
discuss, as we mentioned back in the beginning, people are just losing the capacity to think. So I
Hmm.
think what the world needs to hear is, don't forget, we as humans have the capacity for self
Hmm.
discovery, self determination. We don't need
Hmm.
you know some adult figure to tell us what to do, to arrange our lives for us, to plan what we do, what we're going to do through the course of our life. You're going to work here, you're going to retire, you're going, that's all fine. But I think the world has become too habituated in being told what to do, following the
Right.
advice of experts. Now, experts are good for providing input, but we should take that and say, consider ourselves. So yeah, the thing, the one advice I think we need to work on goes back to what we were saying at the beginning about
Hmm.
self-learning, self-discovery,
Yes.
learning how to ask quality questions. Let's get back to that and throw away the idea that, hey, people are too stupid. And there are a lot of people who believe that people just don't have the capacity to make decisions for themselves. That is horribly wrong. So that's the one thing I would change.
Wow. And what would be your message to the world, doctor? What would you say?
It's tap into that source, because the possibilities are infinite. One of my mentors, Dr. David Martin, characterizes the source as having three attributes. It is
What are they?
generative, it is persistent, and it is infinitely orthogonal. And that's that third part, infinitely orthogonal. And in the Vedas, they talk about infinite correlation, right?
Hmm.
What do you say? Infinite orthogonality, infinite correlation. That means infinite possibilities. And that
Right.
means that each one of us has the capacity to discover something new, to make some
Oh,
new contribution to society, to the
wow.
world, or even at a smaller scale, whatever. If
Hmm.
we would just, settle down, be still, and then begin to reflect and do this deep level of learning
Hmm.
and thought, uh, and think of things like along those lines. That's
Hmm.
the one thing I would say. And by the way, multiply that times 8.1 billion. Now do you see how, now now can you appreciate infinity? So there you go. There's the world. Now in the meantime, we're killing each other over,
Yes.
so no,
Great.
there, I hope that answered your question. It's not a one word answer, but I hope that's
Doctor,
a
I have
short
got
answer.
still heaps of questions to be asked, but the time do not permit me. But well, I can only have a small request to you. Again, we wish to have another session with you, and please see that you spare your time to be with us. That is number one. And second, on behalf of our organization, we pray Almighty God to give you all strength, all wisdom, all time, all courage, everything, so that you keep on doing this wonderful work that you are doing. May God bless you and give you all the strength, sir. Lovely. I can't imagine the way you express your ideas. So nice. Please.
Well, thank you. And my prayer is that if take any of these ideas to anybody out there. I talk with so many people from around the world, and they say, "Oh, we are so poor," because they come from countries that are labeled as poor. I say, "You are not poor. Take in inventory of everything around you, and use these great resources that you have, and maybe start by awakening the other seven or six or seven senses just from the cranial nerves, right? Start awakening those and then work your way down to the rest of the physiology. Can you imagine, again, what you can do? So, yes, I encourage everybody. I'm enjoying this. I encourage everybody to go on this path of discovery for yourself and
Hmm?
share it. Then maybe you should probably, hopefully, you'll get many, many more people to interview who have used these techniques and made some discoveries that they can share. And I'd be happy listening to them.
Sure, doctor. Your blessings are with me, and I promise you, I will do my best to serve the society. So nice of you, doctor. So nice of you. Thank you so much. See you soon. Thank you
It's
so
a
much.
pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Namaskar.